I'm talking about don't let the devil steal your life through fear. If there's things that you really, really want to do, or especially I'm talking about, probably more than anything, doing the things that God tells you to do.
Some of us grew up in this.
Yeah.
There's some people that this is generation 1, 0. They came from horrible situations, and like you did, God had to reach down, Joyce, and really just start developing you as a person.
Oh, yeah.
From scratch.
I mean, I was the least likely person in the whole world to be called to do what I was doing. The only thing that I really had going for me was I really did love God, and I really could talk. I just needed to learn how to talk the right way.
Yeah.
And really, when I look back, what God has, what I've done, but I know I haven't done it without God, it's impossible.
Yeah.
There's no way that I could be on TV in 2/3 of the world in over 100 languages and sit here and say we have no debt if it wasn't God.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not possible. I mean, in the natural, I'm not even that smart.
So it shocks you. It shocked Papa and Mom when we looked at TBN and just went, what in the world happened? It's just impossible what God has done. But you were usable and you were afraid. But the fear of the Lord was greater than your own fear.
Oh, yeah, and that's exactly right. My fear of disobeying God, and I wasn't afraid like he would hurt me. I didn't want to disappoint him.
Right, exactly.
See, when you really love God,
you
I
don't
mean,
wanna
really
embarrass
love
him.
him, then Jesus said, if you love me, you'll obey me.
Yeah.
You know, he did not say, if you love me, if you obey me, I will love you. He already loves us.
Yeah.
But the proof of our love for God is not just a few loose words every now and then. It's, are you going to do what God tells you to do? And we don't hear enough about obedience.
Right.
Sadly, a lot of people don't even like those kind of messages anymore.
Yeah.
You know, even as an author, and I understand our publishers need to do this, but I get every title has to have a promise in it.
Oh my goodness.
You know, it's like if you're not promising the reader something, then they're not going to read your book.
My goodness.
And I just wish that, I wish you could write a book on dying to self and people would buy it, or on the reverential fear of God.
Right.
And people would just buy them in droves, because the things we really need, we seem to be trying to avoid.
How do we know the difference between the fear, between fear and pressing through, and fear that alerts us as a warning?
The kind of thing I'm talking about is, this is either something that you really, really want to do. Like, for example, I'm not a good swimmer. I almost drowned when I was a kid, and so I would be afraid of deep water.
Sure.
So, and I have no desire to become a great swimmer. So I just stay out of deep water. I stay out of all water now, but when I used to go swimming, swim with my kids and stuff. Now, if I really wanted to swim, it was really a desire in my heart, then I should not let fear stop me. But we're not telling people you have to go climb a mountain to prove you're not afraid.
Or jump off.
Or jump off a bridge into deep water to prove you're not afraid. That's not the kind of thing I'm talking about. I'm talking about, don't let the devil steal your life through fear. If there's things that you really, really want to do, or especially I'm talking about, probably more than anything, doing the things that God tells you to do. Talk about giving. How many people know that God wants them to give something away or to do something for somebody else, but they're afraid that their needs won't be met, and so they won't do it? I think everybody has to start giving, doing it afraid.
Right.
You know, because the principle makes no sense. It's like, if you want more, you got to give away some of what you have. It's totally upside down from anything you've ever been taught in the world. I used to have so many fears concerning money because I'd always had to take care of myself. My parents really, they fed me and they bought my clothes, sent me to school, but my dad wouldn't buy my school pictures, he wouldn't buy my school ring. Anything that I wanted, I had to do for myself. So when Dave was working, I stayed home for a few years when the kids were little, and he got a bonus, a Christmas bonus every year at work. And let's just say it was $1,000. I mean, it wasn't a ton of money, but it was a lot for us. Well, we would put that right in the savings account. And man, I depended on that savings account. And see, this is where we get into trouble, when we start depending on what we can do instead of depending on God. And every time something happened where we had to use some of that money, I would just get in a fit. I mean, I would just be, never fails. And Dave got so tired of hearing that, he told me one day, he said, God is not going to bless us until you stop depending on that little bit of money we've got in savings. Well, I got mad and went, took the money out of the bank and spent it all. I said, okay, well, we'll just see what God does. And sure enough, he was right. You can't have a backup plan and also have God's plan.